the history section.
And I can control the presentation. So I would like to echo Brian's comment on the fact that I would like to thank you everyone for being here today. NeuroTechX is now 5 years old. So it's been a very exciting journey. I see some faces that have been with us since pretty much the beginning. So I really appreciate that. So why did we start NeuroTechX in the first place? So I think you will all agree with me that we live in an amazing time in history. The relationship between brain and technology is unlocking different new exciting opportunities and potential, but it's not without consequences and ethical concern. So with NeuroTechX, we strive to facilitate and accelerate the development of neurotechnology with a bottom-up approach. I'm not going to go with the usual NeuroTechX spiel. I think that you all have heard that before, consumed the material, and seen all the presentation and gave these presentation yourself. So I'm definitely more addressing you as volunteers and people involved in NeuroTechX. Just reminding a little bit why we're doing this in the first place, how we're doing it, and what exactly we're doing. So as you all know, what we do is that we bring neurotech enthusiasts and experts together to provide resources to create an inclusive and collaborative ecosystem, driving innovation at a local and international scale. So as you all know, the three main pillars of NeuroTechX are community, education, and innovation. So the thesis behind NeuroTechX is that if we bring people together, provide resources, then they can go on and have an impact on the field. So that's really what we're after. And the way that we're doing it is through several initiatives. So you're all part or involved in some initiative in one way or another. So in a nutshell, we nurture an online community of thousands of members. We organize physical and online events of various sizes. We provide educational resources, engage and provoke discussions with the public, experts, enthusiasts, curious people, the full spectrum. We keep people informed about the evolution of the field. We help industry and academia find the talent they are looking for, and so much more that we're doing. The remote control is a bit, okay. So when we're asked to describe NeuroTechX, and I think that most of you will agree that it's hard to describe in one sentence of what we're doing because there are so many initiatives in the NeuroTechX ecosystem. So first and foremost, it's a bottom-up organization where we seek, and as much as the director as all the support initiatives are there to support all the other initiatives that are part of the pillars. So the way that we broke down the organization, if we want to get the full picture, is that we put the three pillars in the middle: community, education, and innovation or professional development. We use both terms, I would say, alternatively. And within the community spectrum, we have the chapters initiative, the student clubs, the online community, mainly the Slack. And more recently, we started Discord just to see how it would look like to have both platforms with Discord. It's been an ongoing discussion among the organization, Slack versus others, since the free version is bottlenecking the history of the awesome discussions we're having on Slack. But there's a lot of pros of using Slack versus other platforms. So we're trying on that side. Education-wise, we do have the EDU initiative, the book, the content laboratory. On the innovation side, we do have NeuroTechX services, the job board, and the databases that we're creating, basically mapping the ecosystem. So you'll hear about all these initiatives in the next minutes. In terms of the support, so across all of these initiatives that sometimes are operating a bit in silo, but then come back in the bigger picture, we do have the supports like social media, web, the web team, the newsletter, the hardware hub, the diversity committee, which is a new and exciting initiative, and the new squad people as well. So across the organization, we do have a lot of volunteers. As you can see, just on the call today, we do have quite a few people here, and we're not including all necessarily the full team of all the chapters, nor the student club on the call today. And the way the organization is structured with the director is really there to support and not to micromanage, but all the initiatives should have basically pretty much full authority on their own where they are going and how they are operating, as long as it's aligned in the role of the directors to make sure that the initiatives are aligned with the big picture and where NeuroTechX is going, and as well as the resource required to do so. So work in progress on trying to put a funnel as we to picture and see if an image is worth 1,000 words. We're trying to put kind of what is NeuroTechX in an image. We like to see the NeuroTechX funnel as people coming from different backgrounds, whether they are undergrads, grad student, professional, researchers, technical people, investors. NeuroTechX is really about the whole population, which should be part of the discussions of creating this neuro future. And then we funnel people within the different initiatives that we have through community, helping them connect, education, and then having innovation. And then they can go on and have an impact by joining a company, by starting one, by just inspired to do research and continue doing research, then getting involved in neurotechnology initiatives, tackle a challenge. So this is really, and this is work in progress. So the different pictures and things like that will evolve, but we're trying to show in a picture what NeuroTechX is about. And people will come, will leave. Some volunteers will stay for longer, and then they will go on, have an impact. 2 years later, they will come back. And NeuroTechX is this platform that will still be there in 10 years, 15 years. And when we'll look back, we're already starting to look back after 5 years and looking all the impact that we've had over the years and how many lives we've impacted and help people achieve their goals in in their neurotech journey. So how do we measure success? Obviously, as an organization, we take metrics and numbers very seriously, where we want to see numbers and see how many people engages and how many people come at our events, how many people are coming back to our events, and kind of like seeing all the curves, all the growth exponentially, the Slack, things like that. This is amazing. But at the end of the day, what NeuroTechX is about feedback from people. How have we impacted people's life in their neurotech journey? So the real measure of success is all the feedback and all the messages that we're receiving from people that say, thanks to this event, I met X person, and then we started X venture. I met this person. I wanted to interact or meet or connect with that person for quite a while. I met that person at your event. Online, I got to connect with X and Y. I watched your webinar with X and Y, and it inspired me to go and do my PhD in X. All these feedback of the impact that we've had on people's life at all different levels. So whether you're an undergrad and we've helped you get a job, get an internship, develop some skills, whether you're a researcher and we've helped you transition to industry, whether you're an industry professional and we've helped you change job and get another position. It's really about the feedback of how we can impact and accelerate the entropy or the energy in the neurotech sphere. So that's really what we care about. We have a very inclusive and transparent approach where we want to be bring people on board and be very transparent, be inclusive, and this is why I'm super excited about the diversity committee as well that you'll hear from in a few minutes. So we've obviously some of the metrics, some of the numbers, one that people might not necessarily have been looking at, but I was quite excited to see that NeuroTechX, even in scientific papers, we're being talked about. So people are talking about us in different papers, in different contexts, whether they're citing for the impact we're having, either for the community, for the hackathons, for the projects, all that we're doing. But we're definitely starting to appear also in the scientific literature. So as a scientist myself, I'm obviously quite excited about seeing NeuroTechX mentioned in publications. So a bit more on some of the projects that today you'll hear about a lot in the initiative side of things, but not necessarily as much on some of the projects we've had, and some of them are being worked on recently and deserve a bit more visibility. So I'll just drop a few here that I've been excited to see them growth over either the past years or very recently. So EEG 101 was an awesome application developed on a mobile app. It's an interactive tutorial to help you see your brainwave in real time, developed by Dano and other people, Uba, with the collaboration of Interaxon. So that was very popular. We had, I think, over 15,000 download or something like that. I know at some point it was 10,000, so I kind of just figured that numbers have increased. The EEG notebooks that are now full throttle ahead, very exciting project as well. If you're into EEG and ERPs and things like that, please connect with John and other people on that project. The Mohab project as well, who's now back full throttle ahead as well, providing some benchmarking in the BCI world, more of a scientific project. The NeuroCut Challenge as well, in collaboration with the Temple University Hospital and Novella, NeuroTech, a company where we did launch a challenge for epilepsy using basically deep learning AI for seizure detection on one of the largest openly accessible data set with EEG. And with OpenBCI, don't know why I put a space here, with OpenBCI challenge that is currently being worked on behind the scene that you'll definitely hear more about in the coming weeks. So obviously over the past 5 years, and when we decided to do this call at this specific moment, 5 years, I have many pictures, many memories, but I didn't want to spoil the 50th anniversary campaign that we will release enough pictures, videos, and I'll have the opportunity to cry over and over again enough time. So I'll try to keep myself composed on the call and not get too emotional of these past 5 years. So I'm going to keep the throwbacks for another time. Just to look ahead before we move on to the initiative section. What we're looking for 2000, or promise, I would say, to our volunteers and all the initiatives on our side, our internal focus is really working on empowerment, cohesion, and transparency within the organization, where we want to provide more resources, more packages like the chapter guideline that you've probably seen if you're part of the chapter, but really providing a bit more of all the information so that you can go on and be proud of being involved in NeuroTechX with all the tools and the weapons of promoting the organization, understanding what we're doing, and being equipped with all the assets necessary, whether it's from a logo, a full documentation of our practices and things like that, but really equipped you with more stuff across the board. More training and sharing. More training and sharing of best practices and knowledge. So across the organization over the past 5 years, with all the chapters, all the initiatives, we're accumulating a immense amount of knowledge and best practices, and we need to get better at sharing that across the board. So Brian and I, for the chapters, we've been talking about some training sessions and modules on event organization, community building, things like that, just to get better and share. At the end of the day, we're here as well to learn. And if you're involved in an initiative, the idea is that this initiative should advance you in your career, in your neurotech journey. So trying to help you acquire knowledge faster based on previous initiatives, mistakes, good things that we've done, to share that faster. The last one is transparent and shared OKRs. So the idea behind the OKRs is really to share what are our objectives as an organization. Want to be more transparent of, like, here's what we're trying to achieve this year. Here are all the goals across all the initiatives. Here are the numbers. Here's what we're trying to do, to really start working less in silo and more sharing all these goals in common as well, so that everybody gets the full picture at all the time and knowing where we're going and what are the different milestones that we want to hit along the way. So we'll be reaching out to all of you, all the initiatives, to set the OKRs for the end of 2020, and then we'll repeat the activity on a 6-month basis. Not necessarily like super in industry. Normally you might want to do that quarterly and things like that, but obviously with a volunteer, we don't want to do it necessarily yearly, but probably 6 months is a good time window to set some objectives in a trackable and attainable fashion. So before I pass the mic over, what are OKRs? So objective key results. Basically, sorry if I just mentioned the acronym. Basically you set an objective and the key result. The objectives is what's the big goal. We have the chapter as an example here. So improve chapter framework. So that was the big objective. And then you break it down in 3 key results that you can actually measure. So you can really say yes, no, or you have an exact number where you can see, am I at 75%, 80%, but a quantifiable, measurable results to attain. And once you have attained these 3 results, normally you can check your objective as being done. So I'll follow more one-on-one with all the different initiatives on that, but we'll be sharing this across the organization so that everybody can keep an eye on the whole NeuroTechX. So I want to remind everybody, and I think that yesterday Elon Musk's presentation was a good reminder as well, that neurotech is a marathon. It's not a sprint. We now live in a world where we want everything to go fast with all the Silicon Valley startup world, things like VR, where it was supposed to be the year of VR in 2014 or 15, and then 16, and then 17, and then 18. We want things to go fast, but sorry to be a party pooper. The brain is complicated. For most of you, you're in the field of neuroscience, neurotech. You know the complication. You know that it's going to take time. So we want to move fast on a micro level. So we want to move fast and break things and try things and iterate. But we need to keep in mind that the macro is a slow game. So what we like to do with NeuroTechX is really to inspire and educate, but with a pragmatic optimism. So we don't want to say it's really complicated, it's too slow, there's not enough progress, we don't want to kill, we want to be inspiring, we want to bring more people, we want to bring more resources into the field, but we also need to be somewhat honest with ourselves that we're not going to do telepathic communication within the next few years. So with that,